Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to be back. I feel like it's been a minute. I needed a slight pause so I could be a grandma last time. So we are officially in episode 3 and we've got a long agenda. So, David, welcome back.
Welcome. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I always appreciate moments that keep me on my toes and teach me, and you teach me every time we do this. So let's go to school, my friend.
Okay,
For those of
let's do it.
you who, for those of you who don't know, my name is Kat Johnson. I am a veteran advocate and outreach coordinator for Lorain County Vet Services, and I'm here today working with what is becoming my very dear friend, David Root. David tracks legislation and advocates for veterans and military families all over the state of Ohio. He's a frequent voice at the Ohio General Assembly and provides testimony on key issues impacting the veteran community. In 2025, David was appointed by Mike DeWine to the Ohio War Orphans and Severely Disabled Veterans Children's Scholarship Board, further expanding his impact at the state level. So we're going to talk about a number of things today. David does just an amazing job putting out what he calls the Ohio Legislative Report, where he breaks down these policies and the ones that matter the most. So as we talk today, we'll give you an opportunity to put information in the chat and talk to us there. But if you really want to stay on top of all of the great things that David is doing, we'll give you an opportunity to publish, subscribe to his newsletter, and get all the facts and figures there. So, David, you kind of broke down a couple things for me. So I think let's get started, if that's okay, and jump right in. There's a couple new bills on the floor at the state level, and one of them starts with House Bill 961. You want to start us off right there?
961. That's a new bill by Representative Brennan and Troy. They had a previous bill, which was 886. And they withdrew that bill so that they could put this new one in, which is a little bit stronger in its language than the first one, although they both accomplished the same thing. What the bill is the opposite, if you will, of House Bill 708. 708 was introduced back in February by Representative Willis, and it was allowing predatory claim corporations and individuals to come into Ohio and solicit and do business with our veterans and charge exorbitant fees for what they are doing, 5 times whatever the increase in their monies that they get on a monthly basis. So it's the new bill. I've been working with directly with Representative Brennan on it, and we worked on it real hard and heavy for a couple of months, and finally got it put together. We had 2 different drafts, and then when they submitted the draft for the bill, they submitted the first draft instead of the draft, and so consequently, that's why we withdrew the first one. I say we. They withdrew the first one and reintroduced based on the second draft. So that's what we've got. And what their bill does basically is very simple. It's a little over 2 pages long. It requires anybody doing business with veterans for claims that they be VA accredited and that they also follow the federal law governing this type of work with our veterans. And if they don't do that, and if they are caught and found guilty of breaking those federal laws, then they're also going to be breaking the Ohio laws governing consumer protection. And that's what the bill covers. It allows us to prosecute based on the Ohio laws that are basically along the same lines of what the federal laws are. And the big thing is that they've got to be accredited, and to be accredited means they have to follow the federal law. So it's a two-way thing there that covers both ends of it. So real good bill.
Yeah, we've talked about this bill 708 originally at length through every single one of our episodes. So if you have any questions about this, you can go back. David's conversation with me from the very beginning are all stored on the YouTube channel and a few other, but that's probably the most solid way to go back. And you've hit on a couple of really key components here, both securing that these offenders can be prosecuted both on the federal and the state level. I think that's really key. And that's an advancement that was not in the first proposal. So that's really key. And I hadn't heard that development. So that's really great. And again, this is that claim shark, right? You've seen this out and about. You've seen the big red circle with an X through it. This is the advancement of that claim shark concept. So no veteran should ever pay to have their claims processed. This is something that they are entitled to as a part of their benefits. And if you know that either you have a family member or a fellow vet that is stuck in a situation, here in Lorain County, we are accredited by NVLSP. That is a first in the nation county level accreditation. Normally that's a statewide, but they think we're kind of fancy around here. So we have a county level accreditation. And you're looking for that level of service, not something that's not something you have to pay for to get elite services. It's actually allowed in and protected by bills like this. So that's a really great advancement. Kudos to you guys.
If I could add to that or criticize a little bit on what you just said.
Take me to school, David.
We're not against anybody charging. They're more than welcome to, as long as they are VA accredited and following the federal law. And the federal law does allow them to charge money for their services, but they're very reasonable rates based on what they can do, and the amounts that they're charging now without being accredited are 10, 15, 20 times higher than what the law allows. So we're more than willing to work with them as long as they want to be accredited. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, and I think you and I have seen a couple of examples throughout our time wandering around the state of Ohio where we see that the claim isn't even bettered for those that are charging these exorbitant amounts, right? Like it's not ethical the way that those practices are normally taken care of, and it's not really showing a better return. So just really watch, and I'm glad to hear that this legislation is advancing the way that it is. That's really great. Okay, let's talk about House Bill 962. This one was a great one when you sent it to me and looked it up. This is a new one also.
Yep. 962. Let me refresh my notes here.
This one says we're creating the official Blue Star Mothers of America license plate.
Oh, yes. It's you just said it. That's it. It creates a plate. And you've all seen plates that go around that are around the states. You can get them for any branch of the service. You can get them for the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, you name it. You can get a special plate that advertises that organization or that theme or that whatever it is. And this would create one for Blue Star Mothers, the organization in Ohio. And in order to have that plate, you would need to prove you were a Blue Star under their regulations, their requirements. And then there's an extra fee that part of it, I think it's a $10 fee for these plates, goes to for the Department of Ohio for administering the extra work. And then there's, I think, an extra, and I'm not sure, I can't remember thinking back what they're charging, but there's usually an extra fee of $5, $10, $15, and that goes to the organization. So these plates are actually fundraisers for the organizations. And the bill does stipulate very vaguely what they need to do with that money. And in this case, it's just the embetterment of the organization. So it's very simple. They can use it any way they want as long as it's improvement for them. So
we love our Blue Star families, right? They're
to promote Blue Star families. It really is.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And that organization is always a great one. They're a very powerful group of mothers. Nobody messes with a mama's baby, right? And so we always love working with our Blue Star mothers and our Blue Star families. So I love this was a great one that I saw on the list. And by the way, why did it take so long to get one of these? This is really great. So love this one. All right, Senate Bill 455. This one says we have something going on in Franklin County for Colonel George A. Martin Memorial Highway.
Yes, it would. A lot of these bills are out every year. Every General Assembly has them. And what it does is creates a section, and I'm sure everybody's seen these signs, but it creates a section stipulated in the bill. And in this case, I think it's, I don't have it in front of me. I want to say it's I-70, but I could be wrong. But a section of it could be a half a mile to 4 or 5 miles, and I'm not sure which one this was. But it puts it in the memory of an individual, and in this case, it's Martin. Martin was just killed earlier this decade, last decade, 2008, I believe it was, in an air crash in Guam. He's I think he was biotech. Was his education. He also worked with NASA. Very popular, very well known, very well liked individual, and he spent a good portion of his younger years in Ohio, in Columbus area. He went to Ohio State, graduated from high school in Columbus, and so forth. So I think these are always good. They usually pick people that are well deserving of having a section of a road or a bridge or whatever it may be in their name, in their memory. So hopefully that'll get passed, and in early next year we'll see signs in Columbus indicating that. So.
I always am an advocate of, you continue to say their name, and we don't ever want that to be the last time. So I always love projects like this.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a couple that you've got. Going to the governor was on your next list.
Yes. We'll just follow that same theme right now. Senate Bill 52 was passed, and what they did is took a small bill that was created to name a highway after an individual, and in order to get it passed before the summer break started, they took all the bills that were out there, except a few, to have highways named after various different people, and crammed them all into the one bill and passed it as an omnibus bill. And I do have a list, and the bill itself is like 200 pages.
Of course it is.
But
of course it
has a lot of, I'll just give you a couple of examples. It put in their Senate bill, well, it doesn't give the numbers, but it in one section is it creates a section of highway in Harrison County for Staff Sergeant Melvin Trushell as the Memorial Highway, and then there's another one for PFC Chris Dixon, and there's probably about 20 different bills that were all put into the same one 52 to get them all passed quick and easy. There was nobody objecting to any of them, and it's easy to do, especially at the end of a session, which this was. So you'll see the same thing in December when they with other bills, and those you need to watch real close.
Yeah. I think again, this is those that have made a lasting contribution to our state and are deserving of a memorial like this. So great, congratulations to those families who have earned that type of memorial for their loved one. I love that. All right, let's do Senate Bill 450. This looks like the capital budget for the fiscal years of 2027 and 2028. These usually garner quite a bit of attention because, it's money and nobody likes to bring more hackles over than money. Right. But fire away. What you got, my friend?
Well, people need to understand there's two different budgets in Ohio. This is the capital budget, which is used for infrastructure basically around the state. There's also the operating budget, and it pays the salaries and it pays the rent of the buildings and all that stuff. The operating budget's a 2-year budget. The capital budget's a 1-year budget. And basically, this 1-year budget is mostly a carryover from the last one that was money was allocated for various different projects. And these projects take time. So consequently, it's put into the new one that they just passed, the 450 bill, Senate Bill 450, in order to continue that, make sure they're getting the money for the project as it moves along. But there's a lot of things in there for veterans that a lot of it goes for parks and recreation, government buildings and that type of thing, schools and whatnot. But there's, I don't know, probably a half a dozen to a dozen BFW and American Legions and AMVET, or those that have physical buildings that post home to fix roofs. That was put in a couple of years ago, and it's still ongoing. So they're mentioned again. It's not more money; it's just the same thing rededicated to them. There's also such things as I know Greene County, where I now live. They've been trying for several years to get enough money to build a veterans memorial at the state or the county capital courthouse, and this bill gives them $100,000, which is about a fifth of what they need to build the memorial that they've got proposed. But it'll start phase 1 for them, and they can actually now start break ground and get started on it. So that's good. And that type of thing is what's in this bill, as well as the Adjutant General has stuff for his reserves and National Guard, and ODVS has money for the state or for the veterans' homes and things like that. So there's a lot of issues in here that are veteran or our military, and it's always good to see them in there and get passed. So
yeah, keep our veterans forefront.
Right.
Okay, let's go to House Bill 292. And by the way, like I said, if you have questions about that fiscal budget, make sure that you're subscribed to David's legislative briefing so that you can see all of these. He's talking about all of these items in his Facebook groups or in his documentation, where you can kind of get a deep dive. House Bill 292 establishes the Ohio Defense Space Commission and the Defense and Aerospace Industries Expansion Program. And I thought this was really interesting because it's got a couple different components, but I'm going to let you pick out what you think is important here.
Well, I think overall, it's a great bill. What it does is establishes the Ohio Defense Space Advisory Commission, which will fall under the umbrella of the Department of Development in Ohio. And it lays out their rules and what they can and can't do, but it's basically to promote defense businesses in Ohio, defense and space businesses, manufacturers, and that type of thing of the components of what we need to create the various different things for defense and for space. So I think it's a good bill in that it will create more income for Ohio. It will make Ohio more creating the ability to get the businesses that will bring that type of thing to Ohio. And I think that's important. I mean, Ohio is a big military state itself, which a lot of people don't realize with the National Defense or the National Guard and the reserve units that are in Ohio. There's several 100,000 active people working and living in Ohio, and this will help them as well as they can help the new defense program as it gets going. But what else does it do here? It lays,
One of
like I
the
said,
things I noticed in the notations was the grant component, right? So both allowing to award grants and to apply for grants. So
right.
to your point, as that type of commerce is developed within the state, that's jobs, that's putting our veterans back to work. The intellectual property that our veterans have from coming out of active duty military, it allows them to put that right back into our own state's industry. There's a lot of really good things that, as I skimmed through that very quickly, was really, really ideal. And I think that there's a lot to be said about how that can benefit in the short term, the midterm, and the long term. It seemed like there was a long runway on this one.
Yes, I think so. And more importantly, it creates the program and the commission, but it also creates where they're getting their money from in order to
Mhm.
pay for it and keep it going. So
Yeah,
it allocates money that'll be coming up in the next budget, assuming this passes, which I think it will.
yeah.
Um, and they'll be funded through the revised code will create uh, the law that will make the biennial budget pay for their expenses and so forth. Um,
Awesome. Okay, let's talk about House Bill 297. This looks like it was sponsored by Representative Kevin Ritter and Jonathan Newman, and
yeah,
we're amending Section 307.66 of the ORC.
right. What this does, it actually adds uh, discounts to using our state parks uh, for veterans and military, and that is all veterans and military, not just Ohio's.
Mm.
So it will give our veterans, especially, but military also, that quiet space that they may need. A lot of them may need just to get away for a couple hours, go into a state park, and sit and fish or walk through the woods or whatever they'd like to do to decompress, I should say.
Oh,
Uh,
geez,
and
decompress, decompress.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it will also create tourism by allowing Pennsylvania and West Virginia to come up and use our parks. We don't have as many parks as all of those, and this will create an incentive for people to come in and visit our parks, and use the facilities. It does basically everything. Gives a 25% discount on everything except purchasing products, so they can't
Okay.
purchase food or whatever else might be available at any of the parks. So, but we have beautiful parks, and it's a shame if we don't try and get our veterans in there and use them. So,
Yeah, I'm a long distance runner, and there are some really great parks here in Ohio.
yeah.
We have runners that come from all over to run Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Actually, they're
Uh-huh.
getting ready to do it here in the summer. I've run Salt Fork. Like there's a lot of really beautiful places, and I think maybe they're underrated or not talked about enough. But that one really is an awesome one and makes a lot of sense when it comes to using the assets that we have, right?
Right. That was one
Um,
that I did offer testimony on, and uh, I commented that it was a great bill. I talked to Representative Newman afterwards and uh, thanked him for it and whatnot. But one of the issues that was in the original bill that they amended on my recommendation was it lists all the different ways the parks can use to you can use to prove your identity as a veteran or military. And the one that was not in there, that all veterans, 90% of the veterans in Ohio or any other state have, is the VA hospitalization or uh,
yeah.
hospital medical use. And that was not listed. And I suggested they put it in there, and they did amend it and put that bill in, or put that ID in there. So now, I mean, of all the things they listed, it's the only one I've got in my wallet that says I'm a veteran. Uh,
Yeah.
so it'll make it a lot easier, and I think it's the one that most veterans carry with them. So That'll help, and I think this will be a great incentive and a great benefit for Ohio. I think the money they lose on the 25% will be vastly improved because it will create tourism into the state, as well as it will allow veterans, create a need for veterans to actually move to Ohio because of that ability to have a discount at the state park. So I think it's great.
I'll give a shout out to our Lorain County Metro Parks here as well. They do a ton with our veterans, and we do our hero hikes, and they are always reaching out to our veteran population. So if you can take that and magnify it across the entire state, and then to those that have the ability to come into our state, our Lorain County Metro Parks are stunning, and that's just a small sampling of the other 87 of counties that are available. So I think this is a good one. Good call, David. Good call. Okay, let's keep going here. It looks like maybe you have, I don't want to skip one here, House Bill 961. That one you did. Let's jump down. How about House Bill 961, proposed on June 8th? The legislation governs the practice of providing veteran claims for compensation. This is the withdrawal and then resubmission, right?
Yes, 961 is, yes. That's
okay.
The claim chart bill to put,
all right.
put a stop to that. The one we had, I think you had in your minutes that you sent me originally, was 297, House Bill 297, which is the money from the county commissioners to pay veterans organizations or reimburse veterans as organizations for Memorial Day expenses.
You're correct.
Programs in their communities. So that's a real good one. It's nothing new. It's an increase of what was in there that wasn't increased since, I think,
a while,
like 20 some years ago. Was the last time it was increased, and it went from this bill took it from $500 to $1,000. So, and it's not a big. I don't think it's a big expense for a county to worry about. The bigger counties have more organizations asking for the money, but they also have the bigger budgets. So I don't think it'll be a draw on any difficulty in any commission doing that. It also doubled and increased the $100 to $200 for any organizations that are not veteran community organizations to being reimbursed for Memorial Day funds too. So it also helped them. It's just an easy thing to make it a little bit easier, and to maybe create some of these small posts that just flat don't have money to put on a big program for the community on Memorial Day, or put flags out on a cemeteries or whatever they want to do. This is a help for that. So it's a good thing for all our veterans on Memorial Day to be able to get reimbursed for some of those expenses.
Yeah, I really loved seeing this one, and we kind of knew this one was brewing. We knew this one was brewing last time we talked. The Memorial Day event that's in communities is the event that gets celebrated or memorialized, I guess is the right way to say it. Right. We don't necessarily have them for Veterans Day. Our veterans are here, and we always have a unique opportunity to talk to our loved ones who are veterans who are here. Memorial Day is those who have gone before us, and that is our opportunity to go to the cemetery, to be a part of the actual events. And so I think there is a distinction that's maybe more clear now than it ever has been. Memorial Day compared to Armed Forces Day, compared to Veterans Day. And so for us to be able to enable these communities to bring people together, to really say the names of those who have gone before us, to really talk about and educate the young people in our communities about what it really is, that's what we're trying to enable. And then when it comes to Armed Forces Day, which is our active duty members of the armed services, and then Veterans Day, that's a different type of ceremony that's happening because those members of our community are with us, where Memorial Day, those are those who have gone before us. So I think this is a really great initiative.
Well put. well,
Yeah.
explains it to some people that don't understand the difference between all those things. So it's good.
Yes, exactly. Well, we hang out at a cemetery, so every day is Memorial Day at the cemetery.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
well, I thought the next thing we could talk about a little bit, David, you and I, were around so much of the state, and I know, literally bumping into you recently, that the veterans that we're seeing that advocate, you're seeing them lobbying down at the state house, or across the counties, trying to get the right legislation for our veterans. I get to see them kind of doing more fun things in the outreach work that I'm doing. But there are certain veterans that we get to recognize at the county level, and we're kind of getting into that time of year. So I thought maybe we could take just a few minutes and really talk about why we're recognizing veterans at the county level, and a few of them who have been nominated or received their awards for Veteran of the Year. I know you get to sit in on some of these ceremonies and eat the delicious dinner that comes with it too.
Yeah, that's the only reason I go to those things. Free donuts in the morning, dinner at night. Yeah, I'll go.
That's right. That's right. Well, got to get dressed up. Okay, so I thought maybe we'd start in Wayne County. Wayne County is a little bit closer to the National Cemetery with me, and I know some of these gentlemen very well. But so Wayne County actually awarded their Veteran of the Year. They call this gentleman LT with all of the love, but this is Charles Leopold with the triple nickel. If you spend any time with me down at the National Cemetery, the triple nickel is kind of the go-to honor guard and rifle team down there. But this is an amazing choice for their Veteran of the Year, because these gentlemen are literally everywhere. They have come from Wayne County to Lorraine County to run a rifle team for me. But again, these are the gentlemen who, if you have a question about what's going on in the veteran community in that county, those are the guys that you're asking for. And I think this one was a great pick. The next one, and I actually think this is an acquaintance of yours up in Cuyahoga County, Rick DeChant, who runs Neopat. And Neopat is a version of, similar to Ohio Western Reserve Ladies. They are forward facing to the veteran. They're providing services. If you're a veteran in need, Neopat has grown so much. They're literally there. If your active military is sitting at the airport, they're there. They're working the USO office. They're all the places. And Rick is one of the guys that's in a leadership capacity. So Cuyahoga County chose him. And I believe you know Rick, yeah?
I know of him. We've met a couple of times. I wouldn't say we were friends, but
yeah.
I know the name, and I know some of the things he does. It's definitely a good choice for that one. I agree with you 100%. But
yeah, well, yeah. Rick's a 6.5 foot tall coastie. You can't really miss him.
Yep.
So Cuyahoga County actually chooses their Veteran of the Year through a joint Veterans Council. And that's always a great choice as well, because again, I think those are your peers choosing the Veteran of the Year. And I don't know about you, but I want to be chosen by a council of my peers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of Veteran of the Year and other awards that are put out that various different county veteran service commissioners do, and almost all of those are determined by veterans, simply because even if it's the commission doing the voting, they're all veterans. So right. I think
touche.
There you are. I lost you.
Okay, that's okay. I'm here. Okay. All right, let's jump down to Medina County. They just named theirs with another panel. Ed Zachary is getting ready to retire, so we're going to get a new director down there. But this was given to Vietnam vet Ray Fain, and he was named Veteran of the Year in Medina. And again, Medina, they have the National Cemetery there. There's only two in the state, Dayton National and Ohio Western. And before you go hit me up in the comments, yes, there's only two open national cemeteries in the state. Everybody else is a state cemetery. Don't come through and hate at me. But Medina's it's a busy veteran county, and they're doing great things. And sometimes you guys all come out and hang out with me at the cemetery.
I think that was a good choice. You mentioned Ed Zachary. I know Ed. We're both on the advisory committee for the state, and I've got to know him fairly well. Does a great job down there. He's been the president the last 2 years because nobody else wants it. One of those things. But he does great work, and I don't know how they do theirs, who votes and so forth. But from what I read on Ray, that's a good choice. I don't know Ray, but he certainly has earned the title of a Veteran of the Year. I've got no problem with that at all.
Yeah. The last one we have here is Huron County. They also came in with the single female Veteran of the Year that I have on my list this year. Molly Doss from Monroeville, American Legion 547, was named 2025 Huron County Veteran of the Year. So shout out to my female veterans. We just had Women's Veteran of the Year, or Veteran of the Day. So that was a great name as well. And I know she does a ton in her county. So, congratulations to her. Just another great pick.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's always, it's going to take time, but it's good to see the ladies getting involved in this type of thing. Or I don't mean involved, but getting the rewards that they deserve, because it's been too long. It's been too long. I mean, you've been in the service since World War I, well, actually the Revolutionary War, you had to sneak in to do that, but it goes way back, and it became legal in Truman's time. So, it's time to start recognizing the work that they're actually doing. And I think it's great. I think it's great that we're starting to see them get the awards. It really is. So,
Well, Lorain County is going to host a Veteran of the Year event. Hopefully everyone has received their nomination forms and their options to purchase their tickets or their table. I know, David, you and I are going to hang out for dinner. You're coming up to have dinner with me again.
I have it on my calendar as we speak. It's already there. I haven't gotten much information on it, but I do know the time and place, so that's all I need.
You know what? Dress up, put your dancing shoes on, my friend.
I'll drive anywhere for food.
We're going to get that on the t-shirt for you. I feel like it's coming. So if you're watching from Lorain County, please make sure, if you still need your invitation, don't hesitate to reach out. But again, if you're in a county that has a Veteran of the Year award, I just really encourage you to make a nomination for those silent servants, because the people on this list that we just named today, they are not out there campaigning to be Veteran of the Year. I think these are our silent servants that people just rely on. And every time I watch a nomination or an award of these given, it's always with a ton of humility, because these people don't expect it. So if you know of someone in your community or your county that deserves the award, I just really encourage you to acknowledge those people, nominate them. And if they're in Lorain County, for sure nominate them this year, because it's going to be a heck of a party and a great award season for them.
I think so. I did some looking. I for those that don't know, I used to live in Lorain County in Elyria. Lived there for over 20 years, and a year ago moved to Fairborn near Dayton. And so I'm in a different, with the VFW, I'm in a different district. I went through the 7 districts, or 7 counties that we have in District 3, where I am now. I'm not familiar with any names of anybody that earned anything, because I don't know all the people yet. I'm still working on that. But of the 7, 3 have no Veteran of the Year. As far as the county commissioners, the county veteran commissioners, they don't put one on. 2 of them do have a Veteran of the Year, and 2 of them have a Hall of Fame that they induct people into, but they don't have the title of Veteran of the Year. So it's very similar to what they do in Columbus with the Ohio Veteran Hall of Fame. So it's interesting that things get done a little bit differently in different areas of the state, even though we're all Ohioans.
Right.
The city I live in, Fairborn, does have a Veteran of the Year and a Veteran Organization of the Year. So I thought that was kind of fun. But the organization has to be a veteran organization of or for or both. The one that just got it was Honor Flight Dayton, which obviously is a veteran organization.
Yeah.
So that's the type of thing they're doing down here. And that was the only city that I found it only because I'm in Fairborn, so it sort of popped up on my the computers that listen to what you're thinking, give you what you want. But it was interesting. I plan on doing a little bit more. The county I'm in is one of the ones that has the Hall of Fame, has a Hall of Fame. But so it's an interesting. Things get done differently in different places, but it all honors veterans, so it's good.
So you bring up a great point, and now you can tell all the research that Dave and I do to chat with you guys once every couple of months. Lorain County is doing a Veteran of the Year, a Veteran Supporter of the Year, and a Veteran Organization of the Year. So there will be a couple of awards given. But I think of anything, I'm always glad to hear that people are being recognized, because again, I think it's just that kind of my dad was a submariner, so that run silent, run deep concept where it's not the ones that are standing up there looking for the recognition and looking for their photo to be taken. It's the ones that are just silently serving every day, just trudging along. And most of what they do, you probably don't even realize. So I'm always happy to see people getting that recognition.
Yeah. I agree 100% on that. Absolutely.
All right, David. Well, we're about to not be in session, or maybe they're not in session already. So you and I are probably not going to chat again until maybe mid-September, unless something big and fancy happens, and then we'll schedule an impromptu. But maybe I'll see you out doing our thing, and this group will see us again September 21st.
Right. I will encourage everybody that's listening to tell everybody else that they know. This is a time you can still contact your representative, your senator in Columbus, and talk to them. You may need to talk to them at their home district, which will be closer for you than driving from wherever to Columbus. So it's still possible to communicate, either text, phone, emails, whatever, and meet with these people and talk to them. They still go to their office from time to time. They'll set up an appointment if they won't meet you in your Columbus. This is the time they're campaigning. This is the time they want to talk to people. Take advantage of it. Talk to them about what you think they need to do for the veterans and the military here in Ohio. I encourage you to do it.
That's actually a really good point. And I always find them in at the county fair, or at the parades, or at the functions and the festivals that are happening. You may not want to talk about it, but reach out, introduce yourself. They want to know who you are. And I think that if you bump into them and see them, maybe that's the time that you should say this is a sign. I should take this initiative, and I should do what David and Kat said. So
by all means, go for it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, David. I so appreciate my time with you. I'm sure I'll see you before September. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.